So just before I start today, I just want to reiterate that it's really important that when you're doing your yoga, that you set aside that time for yourself as something special. So especially if you're doing the recording, light some incense, light some candles, have some nice relaxing music playing, perhaps make that time special. Make sure the room is nice and light and warm, well ventilated. You've got some water with you. So don't rush it. Make it something special that you do for you. So I just wanted to sort of talk a little bit about creating a really lovely environment. Right, let's get started. So just giving your hands and wrists a good shake. Up into your elbows and your shoulders. And then taking it up and bringing it down. Bend your knees and coming up and coming down. Lovely. Coming round in a circle, make sure you bend your knees, especially until your back warms up. And let's go the other way. Just shaking out the tension, letting the week go. And then a nice circle. Ooh. Let's go the other way. It's a bit mean going straight into full arm circles. Lovely. Give yourself a pat on the back. You're making this time for yourself. It's so important. Lovely. Now breathe in, lift your shoulders. And let them go. And let's do that again. Just doing this, you know, stimulates your vagus nerve. So even if you're sitting at a desk, you're driving, just do this one. And let them go. Lovely. Rolling your shoulders one at a time. So pick up the shoulder and right round so that it's moving into your back, into your ribs. We're not going to let these shoulders in the back of our neck seize up, okay? Because they will. They'll get into a pattern of tension and they lock. Let's go the other way. And that's when we start getting a decreased blood flow to our brain, problems with our memory, our concentration, our energy levels, our mood, all because of head and neck, shoulder tension. So that's why we don't let it lock. We give it lots of movement. Lovely. And then circling your hips. And let's go the other way. And then keeping your knees nice and soft, just gently twisting. So make sure you move your feet. That way you won't compromise those knee ligaments. Make it big if you've got space. Nice feeling of being open. Lovely. Okay, having your feet facing forward and just swinging your arms. Bring your knees into a gentle sort of a skiing movement. We're going to let it get a bit bigger until we're opening and coming down. Lovely. So nice warm up for your whole body. Let's do one more. Excellent. Take your arms and legs as wide as you can. Nice big movement. And then just swinging, throw the tension over your shoulder. Bend your knees. And then we're going to travel, so we're going to do 2. Up and over, toss the energy away. So imagine that all the uncertainty, all the stress, you're throwing it over your shoulder, okay? Letting it go. And let's do 1 more. Lovely. Stretch over your head. So a bit slower. Pull a little bit of tension in your core just to support your back. And now take your arm across your body and turn your feet. So pick your feet up and turn them. Don't swivel, especially on carpet, because you could hurt your knees. So I want to stretch through the whole shoulder girdle. So you're pushing that hand away. Excellent. Now come into the center. Feet a good 2 hip widths apart. Bend your knees and take a nice deep breath in. Breathing out. So make sure your knees are following your feet. Okay, there's no funny angles. And just feel your body beginning to release, to relax, and to calm down. Excellent. Bring your opposite hand to your knee, or even better, your knee to your hand. And this is helping the left side of your brain communicate with the right side. Okay, it will actually bring you into a place of being centered in the center of both, able to use both. Something called cross patterning. Okay, if you can reach your feet, so try and bring your feet to your hands. And then let's do the same thing, but take it behind and diagonal. So I'm just touching my opposite foot. Lovely. Now I want to warm up your spine and your hamstrings. So keep one foot still. Step forward with the other one, reaching up, stretching your spine. Step back. As you come down, lift this foot up towards you till you feel a stretch in your hamstring. And then we do the same again, stretch through your spine, coming down, lifting your foot. And again. And we're going to hold this one a little bit longer. And 1 more on this side. So hamstrings are muscles that don't like to be suddenly stretched. It's where people often pull a hamstring. That's why we always ease into the stretch. And a dynamic stretch is quite different to a static held stretch. And that's why we start with the dynamic. Okay, other foot. Step forward, this time open through your chest. Coming down and pull that foot up, open through your back. And opening up. And coming down. And open. We'll hold this one a little bit longer. Lovely. And then 1 more on this side. Excellent. Coming up, let's do this Tai Chi arm movement that's so good for freeing up our energy in our shoulders. So a lovely big figure of 8. And then lasso your arm right around. So see if you can just sway and let that swaying movement be the force that sends your arm around. So my arm is very relaxed. I'm not doing this, which is using my muscles. I'm using the momentum and the flow of the energy to move, and that way it will open the joint even more. And also works on your subtle energy to just free it up and let it move and flow, releasing any sort of places where it might not be flowing so well. And let's do the other side. So it's very much about moving and being relaxed in that movement. So it doesn't matter if your arm doesn't go around as much as you would like it to. The main thing is that you are relaxed and just flowing with that movement, finding your own rhythm. When you do this one in this way, it is very relaxing in a dynamic way. Okay, let's do both together. So in front of you, make sure you've got space behind you. You're not going to hit anything. You do a figure of 8, and then you're going to take your arms all the way around. Do that bit slowly because it's quite intense on your shoulders, but they're nice and warm. So it will really help to open, free up all that tension around the heart protector point, top of your shoulder blades. And if you're someone who has any problem with your breathing or your lungs, or you get a tight chest, this will really help. It's really opening, especially the top of the chest and around the ribs. Lovely, give them a shake, shake, shake. Shaking, tapping, bouncing, all these repetitive movements help to free up the meridian energy lines in our body, the subtle energy. So that's why this repetitive movement, it's hard to hold on to tension when you're bouncing and shaking, okay? Excellent. I want to do the Qigong exercise that really grounds our energy and helps to cleanse and rejuvenate. So have your feet hip width apart, nice and relaxed. Just lift your arms. Now push down through your feet and through your hands. And now hollow through your back. And you're bringing your arms around in a beautiful circle of light. So you use your whole spine. Bring your hands through at your waist. Gather up a huge ball of energy. And imagine you're pouring it down through the chakras, the nadis, the sushumna, the very deepest subtle energy channels in your body. So that's very deep. Now we're going to do it again. So first one is relaxed, then push down through your feet, hollow through your back, lovely circle of light. Bring it through at your waist, gather up, great big ball of earth energy. Now this time pour it down through your physical body. So all the way through the muscles, the joints, the organs, the whole of your physical body filled with this energy. Lovely, we'll do it one more time. So push down, hollow through your back, involve your back, open the heart, surround yourself in light. Bring it through at the waist, gather up that earth energy. This time bring it down through your aura, through the subtle energy field that surrounds your body. Lovely. Now you might notice that your feet feel really connected, rock solid. So the beauty of this exercise is it cleanses, rejuvenates, and grounds your energy. Okay, so we're connected now. Right, I'd like to do some stretching. So we'll start with the calf muscles. So you want both feet as much as you can on railway tracks. You might need to take them a wee bit apart so that you're nice and stable. Front knee is bent, back leg straight. Pushing the back heel down until you feel a stretch and the big calf muscle just behind the knee. Now it has 2 places it attaches in the back of the knee. So if you can get your foot as parallel as possible, you get both heads. They call them the heads, the 2 tendons. And then you'll get a complete stretch in the whole muscle. Then bring that back foot in. Your knee follows your foot and you're going to push all your weight down through your heel. So you can feel it deeper in your calf, more toward the inside of your calf, the soleus muscle, and down into your Achilles tendon. So if you walk up a lot of stairs, you wear high heels, you climb up hills, this really stretches the muscles and the tendons that get tight. This is an endurance muscle. The other one is a power muscle. Lovely. Let's do the other side, the first stretch, gastrocnemius. This one. Okay. Don't think I could still spell it, but I still remember the names. I used to teach anatomy many years ago, so some things are just in there. So pushing that back heel down. So you feel a good stretch right across the muscle. Remember, you're not just stretching muscles and tendons and ligaments, you're also stretching and working subtle energy meridian lines when you stretch. Okay, bring that back foot in. Knee follows your foot, pushing all your weight down through that heel. So you feel it deeper down into the ankle, into the Achilles tendon. Some people will feel this more than others, depending on the makeup of your ankle, depending how often you have sprained or strained your ankle, and depending how much you do uphill sort of movement. Lovely, let's stretch the front. Really important for the position of our pelvis, how tight these quads and hip flexors are. So find something to hold on to. Grab your ankle, grab your foot, grab your leggings or your tracksuit bottoms, put a sock around your ankle, rest your leg on a chair. But the important thing is that your knee and thigh are next to the other one. You let your shoulder open and your ribs lift. Once you have that alignment, then pull your heel back away from the buttock, but keep your knee and thigh next to the other one. So there should be a whole feeling of opening right through the front of your body. And then we move it up into the hip flexors by pushing this hip bone forward. Really small, subtle movement. If your pelvis is naturally a little bit tilted, you may not feel that. Okay, you might not feel it as much. Let's do the other side. So knee and thigh next to the other one, shoulder open, ribs lifted, pulling your heel back, but keeping that alignment. And then push that hip bone forward. You should feel it move just a little bit more up to the front of your hips, to those two big hip flexor muscles, sometimes combined, called the iliopsoas. But hugely important muscles. There's research now linking those muscles to your gut health, linking those muscles to your mental health, to your neurotransmitters, all sorts to do with these big muscles that run down the front here. So it's really important we keep those hip flexors nice and long. Okay, feet quite wide. Keep your chin up. We're bending from the hips. So you're going to come down, lengthening through your spine. Lovely. So let's hold this position and just strengthen those back muscles. And we're also telling our hamstrings that we're slowly stretching them so they're quite comfortable with that idea. And they will lengthen more readily. Now coming down, give your head and neck a shake. Relax your shoulders, relax your elbows. Just wiggle your hips from side to side just to make sure they're free. Bend your knees if it's too strong for your hamstrings and you need to do that. If you have a little bit of a sore back, definitely bend your knees. Or you may want to do this supported like this on a chair, okay, or on the radiator, whatever you can find at waist height. Now just breathe into the back of your ribs. And this probably is one of the most important postures we do every week for letting go the tension that gathers around the back of your ribs. So just let it go. And now very gently move from your left foot to your right foot, and you'll become very aware of all three of your hamstring muscles, probably, and all their attachments. Lovely. Coming down to sitting. Now, if you need a block or a cushion for these ones, just under your tailbone, if you find that that pelvic tilt makes them a bit easier, please do. So lift up out of the base of your spine. Keep your chin up. Opposite hands on your knees. Now I'm lengthening from my hips. I'm coming forward as long as possible, also stretching forward. I go as far down as I go, and then I relax my head, my shoulders, and my neck. And just breathe into the stretch. So strong across your lower back into your hips. Your knees should be quite happy. If your knees are not happy, loosen off the crossing of your legs or straighten one leg. So really good for opening across that lower back. And then coming up slowly. Marvelous. We're going to swap over. So find a position that's comfortable. Okay. It might be that you have quite a loose cross like this, or you have one leg straight. Whichever works. I don't want to compromise your knees. So lifting up, and then we're going to come forward. Chin up, reaching forward as far as you go. And then relax. See if you can breathe with the stretch. So instead of resisting the stretch, trust your body and feel like you're moving into it. And you're welcoming that feeling of a good stretch. And this is a shiatsu exercise. It's working strongly on a meridian that is called the triple burner. Okay, very much helps to balance your metabolic rate so that you are using energy you take from food in the best possible way. So it's like, I suppose, it's like keeping the furnace burning just right. Not too cold, not too hot, but spot on. And coming up slowly. So it's helping to promote and help you to keep the mitochondria in your cells. So they're the energy producing little parts of your cells. And as we age, they diminish significantly unless we do things like yoga, and especially things like what we just did. It helps to keep your energy levels because you have the numbers of mitochondria and they're big and healthy like they were when you were younger. Okay. Right, feet together. Pull your heels in, lift through your chest, that's really important, and then push your knees down. Okay, so really stretching. If you've got a wall or something to lean against, you'll find that you can, when you can lean against the wall, look how much further my knees go down, they almost touch the floor. You can get a much deeper stretch. So if you're doing this during the week at home, maybe if you're watching the telly, get off the sofa, get onto the floor, lean up against the sofa and just do this stretch. Doing it several times a week, you'll notice a big change in this flexibility. And this also helps you. This is where we store anger, frustration, irritation, all through this liver meridian. So it'll just calm you down and you'll find you're less reactive. Okay. Lovely. That's a good long stretch. Stretching your legs out in front. Point your toes down, pull your heels back. Toes down, heels back. Lovely. Now find some bones to sit on, lifting up out of the base of your spine. We're going to do a flowing forward bend. So the key is to keep your chin up. Breathe in through your nose if you can. Out through your mouth. Come forward. Nice and slowly, hands around your legs. Coming up, breathe in. And let's sigh. So all the tension around your diaphragm, your solar plexus, we're going to release it with the out breath. Lift, really lift. So when you're coming up, you're really lifting through your torso. This brings your heart energy up into the throat chakra. So you find your voice. You can sing your song. You can speak up when you need to. Let's do one more. Excellent. Take your right foot, place it on the outside of your left knee. You can keep this left leg straight or tuck it under, but pull this knee close. If you find in this, if I turn sideways, when we're doing this one, if you're like this, see how my back is bent. If you can't get into that upright, nice flat position through here, do it against the wall. Okay, that's important, that you get upright through your spine. So you lift, and then you place your right hand down next to your body. Breathe in, lift again, and then turn to the right, pulling this knee across. So I've got a nice upright stretched spine before I twist it. And so there's space. I've made sure that the discs are not compromised between the vertebrae when I twist. It's also acting like the action of squeezing, of wringing out a tea towel. It's acting in that way on your spine, okay? So it's releasing tension. And it's also, as we come out of the posture, it will enable that spinal fluid to just flow more readily, to replenish all aspects of your spine and keep it healthy and young. So coming back round slowly, and that's when there's that release and you'll get a nice movement of the spinal fluid. So let's do the other side. So left foot on the outside of your right knee. Tuck this one under if you want to, or leave it straight. Draw this knee close and then lift through your spine, really through this part of your lower back. Left hand down, breathe in, lift, breathe out. Pull this left knee across till you feel it right through, outside thigh, deep in your hips and into your lower back. And you can feel it squeezing the tension out of your gut, which that is crucial. It really helps us to stay healthy. It's an area where, especially in life, there's a lot you can't stomach, okay? Our body is literal. You'll get tension in your gut. And eventually that tension will cause a compromise in your gut function, and that's your immune function, that's your energy, that's your health, basically. So this one is brilliant for coping with change. It's just working on so many levels. It's magic, really. Well done. We held that for a while I was talking away. Legs straight or bent. Take your arm right directly over your head. Keep your buttocks on the floor. A lovely stretch. Marvelous. Let's give our shoulders a final stretch. So take them up, relax your shoulders down, and then take your arms as wide as you can, feeling what's going on in your shoulder blades. So feel them come down your ribs. There's about 6 little rotator cuff muscles. You'll feel them release, or they'll be resisting, they'll be twitching. Just pull them down anyway. And then pull your shoulders back and down. Let your head lift and your chest lift. And then turn your head gently over one side, back to the center, over the other side, back to the center. Lovely. Have a drink, come up onto your feet, and we'll come into Tadasana and do some work with the deep yogic breathing. Okay, Tadasana, all about alignment. aligning with the energy of the earth, aligning with our higher spiritual self, aligning our posture, our physical body, aligning our energy centers. There's a lot going on. So you want your feet to be hip width apart and parallel. And that's important. That's how open or closed your base is. So parallel is optimal. Look at a point on the floor and just come up on your toes. Keep looking at that point. And then stretching your arms over your head. And just keep looking at that point, and we're just strengthening our ankles and helping to train those balance receptors. So just holding it a little bit longer. Come down if you need to and come back up again. But you'll feel the strength developing as you do this. Now lower your heels. Bring your arms and shoulders down without collapsing in the middle. So you should feel nice and tall, quite strong and powerful. Relax your knees if you're a knee locker, okay? And if your chin's forward, tuck it back. Close your eyes. Feel the power and strength of the mountain, grounded in the earth, lifting up to the highest, lifting up into the light, into that clear blue sky where the sun is shining. So just feel your majesty, your nobility. This posture inspires awe. It actually gives you a taste of stepping into all that you are. Now very gently rocking forward and backward, becoming aware of a point under the ball of your foot. It's a balance point, a point of connection with the earth. It's a chakra. Okay. And then circling around that point. So life will throw you off balance, but there's a central core of you that remains strong, connected, and true. Let's go back the other way. We're just bringing all our energy back into that central core at the moment. Now come to rest lightly balanced over those 2 points in each of your feet. Now breathe into your shoulders. And as you breathe out, feel them relax down away from your ears. Lovely again. Let your head and neck float up out of your shoulders so that it's free. Now breathe from the center of your chest out across your upper back. Feel it open. As you breathe out, feel your shoulder blades relaxing down to a new place of being. And again. Lovely. Now breathe up under your arms. As you breathe out, feel your ribs relax. Just releasing that fear tension that grabs us around the back of our ribs. Now breathe into the sternum, the breastbone, and especially take the breath into that space between the sternum and the spine. And just feel like you're coaxing that space to open. This is your heart chakra. But you can't force it to open. It has to open in the way that a beautiful bud opens to the sunrise. That sort of opening feeling. There's a very natural feeling. And now working down through your chest, through your sternum, just opening a channel deep within you. Just move through any tension that you find. And then place your hands on top of your tummy, on your belly. And then breathe into your hands. As you breathe out, your hands come back towards your spine. And again. So breathe in nice and deeply. And breathe out fully. With your mind, just follow your breath. Find your own rhythm. Let your breath take you into a stillness. And this is the Drew in Drew Yoga, this point of stillness that we move out from and return to. that we are always connected to. Source of our strength, our courage, our clarity, and everything we need to live a happy life. Now, as you open your eyes, keep that connection and come back into the world of the senses, the 5 senses, so-called reality. Okay, but bring that connection with you and you'll feel different. And this is what we're learning to do in yoga, to bring the strength that's within, without. Okay. Right, I want to go through a series of movements and yoga postures that are going to really free up our energy and free up especially our spine, strengthen and flex. So take your feet slightly apart. Going to make the Brahma Mudra. So 3 fingers tucked under your thumb, pointing your index finger. I'm the creator of my own destiny. Connecting your subconscious mind with your conscious mind. And this is the gateway to healing emotionally. Okay. So bend your knees, cross your arms, breathe in. And breathe out, relax your shoulders. And again, cross a different hand in front each time. So opening the heart chakra. I am the creator of my own destiny. Taking back the control, taking back your own power in your own life. Releasing what needs to be released, excuse me, so that you can do that. Let's do one more. And release the mudra, let your hands float down. Lovely. Come into the chair of the heart. So you want your feet almost together. Bend your knees. Now, either from the heart to the brow, especially if you have high or low blood pressure, or you find this one makes you a bit lightheaded, or from the crown upward. The choice is yours. Okay, I'll move back so you can see me. So standing up, as you bend your knees, your arms extend. Tuck your bottom under so that your whole body is like an arrow and the center point of balance is your heart. So this is the chair of the heart, aligns you with your heart's purpose, your heart's desire. Breathe in and breathe out. It's a very powerful posture. It shifts a lot of subtle energy. One more. Lovely, bring it down. Take your feet apart again. Breathe out what you don't need. Breathe in what you need. Right in this moment, whatever you don't need. Breathe in what you need. I would say a lot of hope and trust needed. Breathe out the uncertainty. Breathe in a feeling that, man, no matter what's going on in the world, you can stay calm, centered in yourself and what's important. Let's do one more. Excellent. Arms come down. Feet slightly apart. Turn one foot to 90 degrees. Lift through your spine, relax through your shoulders. Arms are out, but they're very relaxed. They're not up here and tense. Turn your hip toward that foot, your ribs, your shoulders, all the way around until your back heel lifts. Nice twist for your spine, really good for your kidneys, helping your adrenal glands cope with all that's going on, nourishing them. Turn that foot last. Let's do the other side. Lift, hips, ribs, shoulders. So we're engaging our whole spine. So you wouldn't do this one unless your spine was nice and warmed up, and you get more benefit when it is. Turn that foot, come back to the front. Let's do it again and involve the arms. Hips, ribs, shoulders. Take your hand to your opposite shoulder, the other one into the small of your back. And then coming round, a nice opening. Turn your foot. Let's do the other side. So hips, your lower back, ribs, your mid back, shoulders, your upper back, and then your arms is just giving you that little bit extra. Pull your core in if you're feeling a bit wobbly. And really open, coming back round. Rotation is in the shoulder, but arms are nice and relaxed, so the energy flows. So I'm working the heart protector point. I'm opening my heart from the back, from the front. We forget that the chakras go right through. We have them in our back, that which we're less conscious of or unconscious of, and through coming out through the front of our body, that which we're more conscious of. Now looking at one hand, twist the other, come through the center, open and twist. So I'm really getting into that tension, any tension that's left around your shoulders and neck. You can probably feel it about now, and then shake it out. Lovely. We're going to do standing cat today. So you need your feet apart, your knees bent, and your hands resting on your thighs. Now the movement is still all in your spine. You won't get quite the same movement as when you're doing the cat on the floor, but it gets more into your hips. So same movement, you're going to tuck your pelvis under, you're going to hollow your back and drop your head. Arms and legs stay where they are. So it's just your pelvis and your back. Then you're going to rock your pelvis back, hollow through your lower back, lengthen through your spine as your head comes up. So tuck the pelvis under, hollow through your back, drop your head, breathing out. Take your pelvis back, hollow through your lower back, head comes up, breathing in. See if you can get each and every vertebrae moving independently of the ones around it. Lovely. So nice, smooth, flowing movement. All those lovely vertebrae moving. All that spinal fluid nourishing your spine. And then finish the one that you're on, coming up briefly. And take your feet wider. Again, resting your hands on your knees. You're going to drop one shoulder into the center, looking up over the other one. So feel a nice stretch, especially in your upper back. We're not letting the tension stay there today. It's coming out. Okay, let's do the other side. Coming back, and let's go. And coming back. I've spent the last 2 weeks updating the 92 videos on my YouTube channel. So I've sat at my desk more than I ever would usually. So we're really getting into any tension from sitting on a computer, a lot of hours. Okay, coming down, we're going to move the stretch down into our mid and lower back. So hands down on the floor. Lift your elbow, lift your arm, looking up at your hand. Okay, bring your hand down and let's twist to the other side. Bend your knees as much as you need to. And coming down. This time you can either do it from here if you want more of a stretch, take your hand to your opposite foot. Or from the center again, whichever suits your back. Lovely. Keeping your hands on the floor, take your feet slightly wider. Turn one foot to 45 degrees and let your knee follow your foot. Okay, if you can't reach the floor with your hands, you can do this up here like this. Now the safety points are the knee follows the foot and you should be able to see your big toes. So in either position, and then we come up, swivel the other foot to 45 degrees, knee follows the foot. So I've got a good stretch through my inside thighs, or I can be up here, whichever suits. And just moving from one side to the other, getting a good deep stretch. And you may even find that one side needs it a bit more than the other. I do. So just stay a bit longer on that side. Lovely. We're going to come down now into the bridge. So for the bridge, you want your feet hip width apart and parallel. And we're going to lie down. So you want your lower back in contact with the floor, your feet parallel, hip width apart, and then slide your heels in towards your buttocks so you've got a comfortable angle with your knees. We're going to go up in 3 stages. So the first stage is just bend at your waist and lift your pelvis off the floor. And then you're going to slowly lower your spine down the mat. And when your lower back reaches the floor, completely release the buttock muscles and as many muscles as you can find. So that's stage 1. Stage 2, lift your hips, lift your ribs, keeping your shoulder blades on the floor, but feeling a stretch through the front of your body. Now, starting between your shoulder blades, just slowly lowering your spine down the mat. 1 vertebrae at a time, using your stomach muscles, using your core muscles. Releasing your spine and strengthening your core. When the lower back reaches the floor, release as many muscles as you can find. So that was stage 2. If you have a bit of a sore back, if you're on the first 3 days of your period or you're not sure about doing the bridge, please repeat stage 2. If you want to do a full bridge, bring your hips up, your ribs as high as you can, tuck your shoulders under and come up onto the back of your arms. Then we need to adjust the position of our feet. So if it's pinching in your lower back, bring your heels in slightly. Take more weight on your heels and release the buttock muscles a little bit. It's important your feet are parallel. If you've got one foot that's turning in or one foot that's slipping, it's often a sign that the muscles, the support muscles in the hip on that side are not as strong. So it's really important that you bring your body back into alignment so that you are strengthening. This really strengthens the muscles that support your hip. And so you need that alignment to make sure that is happening. Now just breathe in the top of your chest. If you want to, you can pull your pelvic floor in, but only if that doesn't pinch in your lower back. But it's a good opportunity to strengthen some of those deeper internal muscles. Still breathing though. So we're holding this a little bit longer today. I want you to come down when your body's had enough. So your body will start, it'll let you know. And then you untuck your shoulders and you come down slowly, 1 vertebrae at a time. So just holding it. You don't want your body to become distressed, but you can push your comfort zone out just a little bit so that you improve. And then coming down slowly, really developing the strength in your core as you release your spine. Wonderful. So hopefully you can notice now that more of your back is in contact with the floor as you have released that tension that often we're unconscious of in our back until we let it go. So as you lie here, I just want to do something called the Alexander technique. Okay. And I want you to imagine that your spine is lengthening from the crown of your head to your tail. So just with your mind, it's widening across the back of your shoulders. So you're allowing your body to open, your chest to open. It's widening across the back of your hips. So just think about these things. Let your body get on with it. Your body's much better at it than you are. Okay. And then think of your knees releasing up toward the ceiling, up out of your hips. And your head and neck have permission to release up out of the shoulders. So just keep thinking about those directions, back lengthening and widening, hips and neck releasing. And you'll find that your body starts making some subtle little changes, little adjustments. And quite often you'll find things release that maybe have been tight or in the wrong sort of position or alignment for a long time. So lying like this with your head on a small book for 10 or 15 minutes a day, put on some music, make sure you're warm, listen to a relaxation, will allow your back to release the tension that builds up. It's one of the best things you can do for your back, especially if you have a chronic back problem or a back that gives you problems every now and again. And it's also a super recharge. I did it the other day when I was really tired. 10, 15 minutes on the floor, I was listening to an audiobook. And before I knew it, I just felt like it was the beginning of the day again. I was completely refreshed and recharged and sort of hopped up and carried on. And yet I had felt really exhausted before that. So it is quite a powerful thing to do. Really nourishing thing to do. Okay, draw your knees up to your chest and give them a hug. And then stretch your legs out, stretch your arms overhead and pull your ribs up out of your hips so you're as long as you can be, like we did in before Tadasana. And then bring your arms and shoulders down without collapsing through the middle. And just feel the space that your organs have now. It gives you your waist back. Everything is now flowing. Right, we're going to roll over onto our front and do a few stages of the cobra. So lying on your front, arms stretched overhead, forehead on the floor. I want your lower body relaxed, so everything from your waist down is completely relaxed. If you find you clenching your buttocks or using your legs, I want you to relax them so that you use your upper back and upper body. First stage, just lift your head. So after all the freeing movements we've done for the head, neck and shoulders, this is really realigning the postural alignment and the way these parts of your body move together. Now tuck your chin down towards your chest and lengthen the back of your neck. When your forehead is parallel to the floor, just lower down and see if you can release in your shoulders so that you undo a pattern of neck and shoulders always tightening together. Tuck your fingers under and bring your hands a hand length closer to your body. And then again, lift your head and you'll feel some tension maybe in the top of your back, up by trapezius there where your head and neck join your back, join your shoulders. Again, tuck your chin down to your chest, lengthen the back of your neck. When your forehead is parallel, lower your head and release. Consciously think about the muscles at the top of your shoulders and give them permission to release. Really got to use your mind with this one. Now bring your thumbs level with your eyes. Push your tummy into the floor and see if you can just lift your upper body off the floor using your back muscles, but you could wiggle your legs. I'm not using my buttocks or my legs, I'm just strengthening my back. Lovely. Now slide your elbows in and come up onto your forearms into the Sphinx. So lower body's completely relaxed. Slight feeling of pushing your chest, your breastbone forward. Close your eyes. And take your awareness into the Ajna chakra, the third eye, between the eyebrows and about an inch into your brain. And just imagine a beautiful candle flame. And if you can, turn it to an indigo blue, purpley blue. And then see circles of light just emanating out from that candle flame, clearing your mind. Clearing the energy around your head, and then clearing your whole aura, but aligning your whole being with the intuitive wisdom that comes through a connection through the third eye. Amazing insights when you start really living from a place of listening to what comes from within you. And this helps to align you with that. Now bring all that beautiful indigo blue light back into that candle flame. And in your mind, feel or see it flow into your two eyes. So we bring that inner wisdom into the world that we see. And then opening your eyes, coming down. Now, if your back and kidneys have had enough, go straight into Makrasana, crocodile. If you would like to do another couple of stages of the cobra, come with me. Okay, so the next stage, you have your hands under your shoulders and you tuck your elbows in. You want to keep your tummy button on the floor. That's an important safety point. Otherwise, you're hyperextending your back. And then you just lift. Quite strong on your arms, especially tone for the back of your triceps, but lovely for your back. And we wouldn't do this cold. Your back is nice and warmed up. And then coming down slowly. If you've had enough, go into Makrasana. If you want more, arms at your sides, palm upward. Now you're going to lift your upper body, but not tightening through your back, your hips, your legs. So I'm just using my back. And then lower down. And then the last one, arms out in front. You're going to lift your chest and your whole upper body and your arms off the floor without using any muscles from the waist down. Okay. So just using my back, and it's using every muscle in my back. Release your legs, release your buttocks, and you'll feel those strengthening. And relax. Well done. Coming into Makrasana, one hand on top of the other, forehead on your hands. Take your feet apart, turn your heels in and your toes outward. If this is not so comfortable for you, let me just show you how to modify Makrasana so that you can make it comfortable, because it's such a valuable posture. I want you to be able to spend a few moments. So if it's hurting in your forehead, place a cushion or a towel just between your hands and your forehead. If you find it tight across your shoulders and neck, stick a nice small cushion just under your chest. If it's a bit uncomfortable in your lower back, you can take this cushion a bit lower and have it just under your tummy. Or if you find that your feet are not so comfortable, your ankles are not so comfortable, place a couple of cushions just under the ankles. The main thing is that you can relax. And as you breathe, imagine that all the tension in your body is just flowing out through the solar plexus. So imagine the solar plexus is like a portal, and you're just opening up and breathing out any tension that's still in your body. And it's pouring down into the earth under the building in which you are. So the crocodile forces your body to breathe from the diaphragm. You can't chest breathe in this posture, and this is one of its real benefits. So just follow the breath with your mind. And just let it take you into that peaceful place, that place of stillness that we work with in Tadasana. Now, Makrasana takes the benefits of all the movements in yoga we've done earlier deeper. It brings you into a beautiful balance with all the energy shifts that the yoga brings about. So it's really important that you spend this time in Makrasana after the more active yoga, because it's a practice of simply being. Now gently bring your feet together. Place your hands under your shoulders and just coming up slowly. If you need to grab a drink at this point, we're just going to do an earth sequence that will ground our energy. You might be feeling a little bit lightheaded at this point. If you want to, you can go straight back down into Makrasana and stay in there, and we'll catch up with you in the relaxation. But I just need to bring all the energy. We've shifted a lot of energy from lower chakras to higher, and I want to ground your energy, and the earth sequence is marvelous for that. So just coming up slowly, have a drink. So for the earth sequence, you want your feet reasonably apart, okay? And if you just follow me with the arms and the breathing. So you're going to breathe in, raise your arms. Breathe out, push down through your feet. Breathe in, raise your arms. And breathe out. So breathe in, lift up. Breathe out, push your hands down and your feet through the floor. Breathe in, arms raised. Breathe out, there's a natural relaxing of the arms. So we do four seasons, 4 movements to bring us into a beautiful balance with the cycles of the earth. Nice flowing movement. So there's very little effort, doesn't need to be any effort at all. Okay, now we're going to turn to one side and you're in a sort of a lunge position. Okay, so I've got my front foot facing forward, my back foot's on side 45 degrees. I rest my hands on my thigh. I breathe in, I lift. Breathe out, sink down. Take your arms up into warrior 2 briefly. And then lower your arms so your legs stay where they are. So breathe in, lift, straighten your leg. Breathe out, bend, take it down. Take your arms up as you breathe in. And then your arms come down as you breathe out. So again, we're doing 4. Feel the connection of your feet down into the earth, especially as that downward pushing down movement. So we're doing this with little effort. It's just flowing and it's graceful and it's not difficult. So just do it in your way. The important thing is that it flows. Okay. So just bend, get in this position as much as you're comfortable. Okay. So straighten your leg, lift your arms, breathe in, bend your knee, push down, take your arms up, breathe in, and then breathe out again. Focus on the connection you feel with this beautiful planet, with all the animals, all the birds, with the natural cycles. We're in autumn, a natural time for letting things go, a real time of embracing change, the autumn. I think we've done 4. Okay, let's do the last movement. If your hips allow, touch the floor. If not, do the movement we did at the beginning. Okay, so breathe in, breathe out, touch the floor, breathe in and breathe out. So imagine when you touch the floor, you're connecting with the earth. So there's a brief but beautiful connection. So send all the love that you have for this planet we call home, send it down through your hands. And she will return it 100-fold. Lovely. So you know when your energy is more grounded because you just feel calm, your mind will have cleared and you feel more rock solid on the earth. Okay, there's more of a connection through your feet. Okay, right, I want to do a nice relaxation now. I would strongly recommend that you do it in Makrasana if you're comfortable, or start in Makrasana and then turn over onto your back when you need to, but you need to be warm and ideally lying on the floor if you can. It just really helps to ground your energy when you're lying parallel to the earth in that way. Take a few moments to get yourself organized. Now I sit up in the relaxation because if I lie down, you wouldn't get much of a relaxation. I would just give you a few instructions and let you go, because I would go deep down into a place. Okay, so this way it enables me to give you what you need. Right, if you're lying in Makrasana, see if you can relax across the back of your shoulders and feel like your hips are just sinking into the floor. Quite often your legs take a little while to release in Makrasana, and you don't know you are holding tension there until it releases. So just have the intention that your body is releasing into the floor. The same intention if you're lying on your back. Ideally, you want your feet slightly apart to open the base chakra, and if your toes turn outward, that just helps the energy to flow. Have a little bit of space under your arms, again, energy flowing, and see if you can get your lower back, especially in contact with the floor. So even if you have to lift your pelvis up and roll it back down, just to ground that part of your body. Now, before we begin, just give yourself permission. The next 20 minutes, just let it be as it will. Be open to embrace whatever comes. And let it be a chance for your body to release anything it needs to intuitively heal and to recharge. It's like pressing the reset button, okay, to revitalize and bring everything back into a hold. Okay, we can easily do all of that in 20 minutes. All you need to do is release any need for it to go a certain way in your mind. So just be open and relax and let it flow. Go with the flow. Okay. So we'll begin with some deep yogic breathing. So this is where we breathe in through that channel we open down into your belly. Your tummy fills with air. Then as you breathe out, you gently pull it back towards your spine, releasing the air back along that channel out through your nose or your mouth. Ideally, breathe through your nose if you can, or at least in through your nose, out through your mouth, but whatever is comfortable. And just let your mind focus on the breath. I want you to feel like the breath is taking you by the hand and taking you down into a place inside that's deeply peaceful. It's like going into a sanctuary, a retreat. So when thoughts or physical feelings or sounds in the room interrupt, you'll focus on the breath. Just gently come back to an awareness of your breath. And it's important that you come back without criticism or judgment. You come back with loving kindness, just accepting it all as it is. Every time you come back, you break the power of the ego in your mind, and you strengthen your connection to your higher self, the part of you that is wise and stands behind all things. So that's why we celebrate the coming back. We don't berate ourselves for being distracted. So think of the thoughts in your mind as wild horses. And sometimes they just run amok in your mind. They're going in all different directions. They pull you one way, they pull you another way. And honestly, you could go crazy in there. Other people's thoughts jump in. That's like another horse joining the pack. And it gets difficult to know which direction you're going and to find your way. So this process of focusing on the breath, it's like taming those wild horses, bringing them all into alignment and saying to them, this is the direction we're going. And then they run free and take you where you want to go. So it's a simple process. It's not an easy process to stay focused on the breath. But the benefits in terms of your mind, the change in your mind, and therefore the change in your life are incredible. So this is why we do this every week. It's really important. Just focus on the breath. Keep coming back to the breath. And as your thoughts calm down and there is more space, you will notice that your body is relaxing. And just go with that feeling of wanting to let go physically. So still stay awake, aware, listening to me, but physically allow your body to release and relax. So maybe you just relaxed a little deeper today than you have ever done before. Trust your body, it really knows what it's doing. So that feeling of wanting to let go, but being afraid to. Just let go anyway. Your body is intuitive, it's incredibly intelligent. So in your mind, work with your body. And you can do this by scanning your body. Just looking for areas that are having trouble relaxing or perhaps a little bit uncomfortable. There might even be some spasm. And rather than being annoyed with your body that it's giving you this discomfort, I want you to change your mind on that one. And I want you to go into that part of your body and just fill it with love. All the love you feel, let it flow into the part of your body that's perhaps a little resistant to releasing. Breathe into that part of the body. Breathe out from that part of your body, just encouraging and inviting it to release, letting your body know that it is safe. And also establishing a communication with your body. Often our higher self, our soul, speaks through our physical body, especially if it can't get through in our mind. Okay. And increasing discomfort and even pain, our communication messages about our life and the way that we are living, or something that's amiss, something that requires your attention. So if we give the body that attention, it doesn't need to speak so loudly. Okay. We can become very sensitive to the little nuances and changes in our physical being and understand what they mean before they become a major problem. So you wake up and one ear's a little bit blocked. What am I not listening to? My left side feels more tight than my right side. That's my feminine. That's going inward and nourishing me. Am I giving out too much in the world? My gut is tight. What can't I stomach? My chest is tight. Why am I closing down and protecting? What am I fearful of opening to love? What situation is causing this? Pain in the neck. Who or what is a pain in the neck? Okay, our body literally speaks to us.
And learning to tune into the language of your body will bring a beautiful relationship that will help you to navigate good health easily, effortlessly. You don't become too self-focused, you don't become paranoid. Instead, you become open to listening. And sometimes our body will say no. It will stop us from taking a planned course of action. And in my experience, more often than not, in hindsight, this was a really good thing, even though we might have been frustrated at the time. Now, I just want you to keep that focus on the breath. And I'm just going to play the singing bowl. I'll move a little closer so you can hear it. And I just want you to practice allowing the sound to come in. Okay? So with sound, its healing benefits come when we are just open and listen with every fiber in our being. And when our mind starts to analyze, have a story, make comments about the sound, we just let that go and come back to just listening. So just listen. The singing bowl is attuned to the heart note. So it will have a powerful healing effect if you allow and just listen. Just for a few more moments, stay attuned to your sense of listening. Just allowing the sounds in the room to come in, letting go any thoughts about the sounds. And now take that listening to sounds beyond the room. Take it out as far as it will go. Just allowing sounds to come in. And now slowly draw your awareness. So you're just listening to the sounds in the room. And keep bringing the awareness closer and closer to your body until you're just listening to your own breath or your own heartbeat. And now very gently, I want you to come back to an awareness of your body lying on the floor. Take a nice deep breath in and just start to move fingers, toes, wrists, ankles. Slowly waking yourself up. Maybe stretching your arms overhead just to wake up your spine. If your lower back is a little stiff and you're lying on your back, just gently rock your knees from side to side. And then turning over onto your right hand side and just rest there for a few moments, supporting your head. And then coming up to sitting. And take a nice deep breath in. And another one. So we go out into our day with a beautifully open heart, feeling nourished and refreshed. Namaste.